All right, welcome back. Multi-view drawing 5, page 124, 7 drawings. We're working on the third page of page 124C. We got that open up here. So this time we're working on figure 578, mini sawhorse. The scale is 1/4 inch equals 1 inch, whereas a sign, I would say because of AutoCAD, let's just do it in 1 equals 1. 1 inch equals 1 inch. All right, so we know the top rail is 2 inches by 4 inches by 24 inches. The legs are cut from 2 by 12, 14.5 inch long. So it's 14.5 inch tall. And it's 2 by 12. 2 inches this way, 12 inches this way. Now, it says dimension only if instructed to do so. And you're being instructed to dimension your drawing. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to AutoCAD. I've already downloaded the updated fractional template. I'm going to go ahead and set my box up. Again, I'm going to use this as my front view. I'm going to use this as my right side view and use this as my top view here. All right, my front view here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to create a rectangle that is 14.5 inches high and it's at least 24 inches long or wide. So let's go to AutoCAD. So I'm going to offset this bottom 0, 0 point here. I'll set it 14.5. I'm going to offset that line 24 inches. Now, I'm going to offset this line, excuse me. Let's go back to our drawing real quick. We notice that we've only got a little bit of that line still sticking out there off this 2 by 4. We see we only got 1/2 inch hanging out there. So from 14.5, we're only going to go up 15 inches. So we're going to offset another line here at 1/2 inch. 0.5. Now, we know they don't tell us the distance from here to here on the ends, right? It does tell us that the top rail is a 2 by 4 and it's 24 inches long. All right, so I know the legs, we have to assume they're even ends here. All right, we have to assume because it doesn't give us any other way to figure that out except for assuming this end and this end are even. I know the whole thing is 24 inches. So let's go back in here and play around with it just a second. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm all set that line to start with. Let's try 6 inches. I'll set this one in 6 inches. I'm going to offset that one back 2 because it's 2 inches wide. And I know there's a cutoff or cutout inside of that. I know the cutout on the inside of his leg is 4 inches up. All right, 4 inches up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to offset this line here 4 inches up. And then I'm going to offset this line here 2 inches. Excuse me, 4, because it's 2 by 4. Now, pretty much we have the same. Nope, that's on the wrong side there. That's the right side. That's got them evened out now. That line there was set to the inside. Now, that's my mistake. And of course, I said it twice, probably 3 times. Now I'm going to go to my object line layer, block in what I need to do. Now realize that upper one there is the 2 by 4 that goes through. Actually, I should have offset that from that line, not this line. Another mistake I made. Just proves that I make mistakes. Offset that line now 4 inches down. I just basically go from here to here. Now the line in here is going to be actually a hidden line. It's going to show up as a hidden line. Go up and change it to our hidden line there. Now this section here is actually that angle at the bottom. It's this section right here where the hidden line is, excuse me. That's that 4-inch angle right there. So go ahead and do that. Well, and guess what? Now, primarily, that's all we can do for the front view. Remember, we're doing from the wide side of that. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to scoot over and we'll start working on the right side. We'll offset that because this is one of those drawings that's going to be larger. I'm going to offset this about, let's say, 6 inches to give myself enough room. 6 inches is not enough. So I know I got something I've got to do at the base of that. Let's offset at 12. And now what I'm going to do Go back to my drawing. I know the base of that's actually 11 inches. It's a 2x12 by 14.5 inches long. And the base of this is 11 inches. Your opening here is 7, and it's 2 on either side. So let's go back to the AutoCAD drawing, and let's get that started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset this line 11 inches. Not 1. All right, I just love going back and redoing things here. Delete that one. This is the one I need to offset 11 inches. Now, what I'm going to do is now I need to go back to my picture. It doesn't tell us an angle there, but we know we got a 1/2 inch on either side of our legs and 2x4 on the top. So let's go ahead and get back to our drawing and let's figure this out. What I'm going to do on this line right here, I'm going to draw a line, not in the hidden line though. Let's do that in the construction line. I'm going to use that as my center line right there. What I'm going to do is zoom in. Now I know if that's my center, and it was a 2x4, it's 2 inches wide by 4 inches tall, right? So I'm going to offset that 1 inch on either side. Now we got 2 inches now, but that line needs to go all the way up. Let's go across there because I think that other line is crooked. So let me go back and do that one again. May just be an optical illusion on my screen, but it looked crooked to me. Now I know my angle begins here. It comes all the way down to this corner. So I got to take my ortho off. Actually, no, it don't. It don't start at that corner. Excuse me a second. I need to look at something. You got a 1/2 inch gap on either side of this leg. So I need to go back and fix that on my drawing here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw off a 1/2 inch line right here, 0.5, and draw my little flag down this way. 0.5 this way, a little flag down this way. Now, that's where my line should start and come all the way down. It doesn't give us an angle, so we have to basically go on what our measurements are. Now, get back to our example sheet. We know we're coming in 2 inches, and then we got 7 and then 2 again. So let's go to our drawing. Turn on our ortho back so I don't screw up something. Go 2. And I am going to draw a little flag right there. Then I'm going to come 7 over, 7, draw a little flag. That should leave 2 inches right there on that end. And just to prove it, I'm going to measure it. Zoom in. Yep, 2 inches is what I have. Now I'm going to turn my ortho off. But let me do this first. I'm going to take my line straight up here in my midpoint, go up 4, and because it doesn't give us an angle, they just give you the measurements. You're basically, I didn't turn my ortho off like I said it was. And there is your right side view. I'm going to take that measurement out of there. Now, while I'm here, I might as well go ahead and block that in since I know it's right. And since I have my ortho off, I'm going to zoom in. You can actually go all the way up and get that top of that 2x4. See how that looks crooked? I knew I was going to screw that up. That was too far out. Basically just tracing everything over. Just basically going with your snaps, allowing your snaps to snap. And then we're going to work on the top view. Now I know that's going to be 11 inches wide. So when I do my top, I'm going to offset that line and make sure I get it right here. Get the same distance away. I'm going to offset that line up 12. I'm going to offset that one 11. And then I'm going to start working on my blocking things in. Now, I know this is my leg, so I'm going to draw that one. Don't want to do that. I want to do it in a construction line because I don't want to have to erase things. And still, I'm just trying to make sure I'm very careful on how I move my lines because I still don't have my ortho on. And hit escape. I'm going to turn my ortho back on now because I'm going to go in here and set my construction line right in the center of that line where I created. I'm going to offset that now 1 inch to either side. Now I need to come up here and do this 1/2 inch for this as well. So 0.5, 0.5 down here. That was not right. And guess what? I just undid all of that. That's all right. I can do it real quick. All right, let's start that again. 0.5. And then 0.5 here. Now, that's right. Now what I'm going to do is we go back to my object line layer. Lock things in. Now, here's what I'm going to do. On that line, I'm not going to cross all the way over because if you cross over, you're going to end up having to delete lines here. On that one, you're going to take that, and here, you're going to take that. This line here, we're going to have to break that line. So why not just go back out here and redraw that. Just come up and around here. Because that's actually my 2x4 that lays there on top. So now I'm going to take and draw in the other side here. And we're just looking down at the top of that Sawhorse. Now we're going to go here. You get your 2x4 in there. Now, the last thing we need to do on the top part is we got to work on this 7 inches of your V here. So what we're going to do is we're going to offset this line right here from the center, 3.5 inches to the right or to the top, 3.5 there, 3.5 there. So what we're going to do now is go to our hidden line. That's showing where that V is coming through there on that point of at the base. And you would see one at the V as well. So right there. And you would see the part that goes underneath that 2x4 as well. So now we'll go here. It basically just tells you that that 2x4 is open underneath that and fits a channel there. And then the V comes up underneath that. So let's go and turn off our construction line. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Forgot something. Forgot my hidden lines over here. Sorry about that. Now I'll turn our construction line layer off. Now, I'm going to dimension this at the bottom. Again, your hidden lines show that part right there is solid. So let's go ahead and dimension this. Not in the hidden line layer though. Go to dimension line. No, I snapped too quick on that. Sorry about that. We go here to show the height of that. And those dimensions are a little bit far out. So we can move those in a little closer. Now we could have dimensioned that any scale we wanted to, but I think it's easier just to draw it full scale. Since we got all that drawing room in AutoCAD. Now that dimensions need to come up just a little bit off of that. because that's a really close there. Now, I don't want to change that dimension. I just want to edit it. And I'm trying to chain those dimensions there. When they line up right one on top of the other one, that means you're chaining them. And that way your arrows actually hide each other. And you see that's a 2x4 by looking here. And then you get this dimension here. All right, you see that there's nothing there to dimension to, right? So let's turn on our construction line layer. Let's stay on our dimension lines. Then turn our construction line layer back off. Then we're going to dimension from here. If I can get my dimension tool, here to here. Let's drag that down just a little bit. And then we'll dimension from here to here. I'm not hitting the corner of that for some reason. There we go. And then dimension this one. And I believe well, I did not. There's one dimension I left out here. It's the total length of this. And then we get a dim style. The only difference between this and creating it at a scale is that you'll see a little closer drawing than what we have here. By scaling it, you actually create a little smaller drawing. But let's go to text. Let's change that to 5/16. Let's see what it does with our, it may screw up some of our placements here. 1/2 inch, 2 1/2 inch, 4, 7 to 11, 4, 24. And you can actually dimension this one as well, but you really don't need to because your dimensions are given in your front and your right side. And I'll be walking around and helping you guys out with this one.